This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. And hey, if you're planning a trip to Walt Disney World soon and you want to have someone, help you figure out a little of the details. You want to say, should I go to this park on this day? Should I eat at this restaurant? What do you think about this counter service location? Or will my kids be scared on this ride? These are questions that you could, reasonably get somewhere. But why not have the travel agents at MEI and Mouse Fan Travel just be there for you without a question? They'll be there to answer all the issues you may have. And the best part, it's fee-free. That's right. They're not going to cost you anything. Check them out online at www.mousefantravel.com.
Bringing the world to your world, this is Walt Disney World Today. Here are Mike Scopa, Len Testa, Mike Newell, and your host, Matt Hochberg.
It's Wednesday, March 23rd, 2011, and this is episode 854 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Len Testa, co-author of the Intro Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome to the show, Len.
Matt, I did something evil this weekend.
You killed Scopa?
No, no, he's in France anyway, and it'd be difficult to do that from France. Plus, the French would be on me like golden brown on a baguette. No, I was running a marathon with Laurel, the Cary Marathon, and we ran together for 26.1 of the 26.2 miles of the race. Then in the last tenth of a mile, when I can actually see the finish line, people were cheering us. I told Laurel to hold my water bag so I could stop and tie my shoe. And as soon as she stopped and grabbed my water belt, I sprinted ahead and took like 20 seconds. Yes.
Always classy on this show.
Straight to hell.
We are really the best of humanity is embodied on this podcast.
I'm gonna, it's only the most noble, honorable things that we do. I know I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. They're gonna be black and blue marks all over my legs. I'm gonna walk downstairs and go, my God, that race was harder than I thought. And Laurel's gonna go, and then she's gonna put away a broomstick. That's what's gonna happen.
Also joining us on today's show is Emily Westoff, the general manager of Baby Cakes NYC, located in downtown Disney between the World of Disney and T-Rex. Welcome back to the show, Emily.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. And I forgot to mention, again, that Emily also writes for All Ears, the weekly newsletter for allears.net, and you do a monthly feature, right?
I do monthly vegan tips. So I think the next one's coming out in about 2 weeks. So check it out in your inbox.
Nice.
Woo. Yeah.
It's Wednesday. We're answering your listener questions. First one is going to be from Monorail Scott, who writes, hey guys, just want to take a moment to assure you that at least one double-decker bus still exists in the Magic Kingdom. I am living the Disney dream, having become a cast member back in November, and on my whirlwind tour of the world during my initial training, one of the areas we wound up was when backstage was on Main Street in the parade area behind the fire station and barbershop. Back there was a little gazebo-style garage that held several classic vehicles that I have rarely ever seen out and about on Main Street, except in old TV specials. One of them was the double-decker bus. It's definitely still around.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Emily, do you remember the old double-decker bus that you could ride?
No, I'm trying to think of that. No, not at all.
It's like that. Best way I could describe it is like that old UK style, red.
Yeah, red.
Double-decker bus.
What a double-decker bus usually looks like. Yeah.
It has 2 stories. Other than that, it looks like a bus, but a bus with 2 stories.
Right.
Oh, that's the double.
You remember that one, right?
Scott also writes, I thought you might also get a kick out of the hearing that a simple mention of your zombie apocalypse at Walt Disney World episode to colleagues during a spring break turned into a full-scale, intense discussion of the subject at Westgate Transportation Building at the TTC a few nights ago. Cast members passing by kept asking, what are you guys talking about? And we would tell them, they'd laugh, and then the next thing you know, they'd find themselves drawn into the conversation
Exactly.
and giving it real serious thought.
Everyone's got an opinion.
While no consensus was reached, no one could shoot holes in my theory that the best place to try and hide would be indeed Cinderella's castle for all the reasons you cited, plus one big one that you didn't. Perhaps you're unaware, but there is an elevator access to the Utilidor system from Cinderella's castle. While it would take some serious doing to make the Utilidor system zombie-proof, and you certainly wouldn't want to get trapped down there, you'd also find yourself with tons of food and many choices for a quick backdoor escape.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Good to know.
Glad we're changing the world one stupid question at a time.
One zombie apocalypse at a time.
Scott has one last thing, one last criticism. You guys are really down on Disney World transportation. As a monorail host, I must take some exception to this. I always tell people who are thinking of vacationing at Walt Disney World that if they want the best experience possible, they need to 1, stay on property, and 2, forget about a car. Lately, I've been adding forget the cell phone mobile device in there too, but that's a rant for another day. You don't need a car at Disney World. In fact, it's both a hassle and a major distraction. Disney World is designed specifically so that you don't require a car, and if you want the full immersive experience that it is designed for, take advantage of the free transportation provided and forget about your car along with the so-called real world.
That's awesome.
You know, I
That's a
think.
good point.
Go ahead. Matt.
Well, he's got a good point. I mean, before, I now live in Florida, but when I used to vacation here, I'd never rented a car. And now that I drive around property all the time, it seems so much smaller than it used to seem to me. Like, it used to just seem like this vast world. You know what I mean?
Disney World,
Yeah.
perhaps?
Like a Disney World, yes. I don't know. Now it just kind of seems like, okay, if I keep going straight, it's going to say Magic Kingdom that way, and then it's going to say it again in about 2 miles. Like, you can kind of get everywhere from everywhere.
Yeah.
It just makes it seem so much smaller than it is. I don't know.
I think the thing that we always say, I think no one here on the show would say that Disney transportation is bad. I think it's good, but we prefer to have a car because I think it's a better option. Not to say that again, Disney transportation is bad. It's just we prefer to have faster times with the car, right, Len?
Let's face it. Part of it is that we're control freaks, right? And then we don't think that it's bad, right? I think we've said many times on the show that for what it does, you know, safely transporting tens of thousands of people a day around an area the size of Manhattan, it does remarkably well. It's not a question of, you know, good versus bad. It's good and better.
Right. Exactly.
And that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, so, you know, we don't mean any offense by it. And who doesn't love a monorail? I mean, let's face it.
Seriously.
Bonafide, electrified, certified monorail.
Awesome.
Next email is from Doug Harper. My family and I are taking my parents to the world late June of this year to celebrate my father's 60th birthday. My dad is a man who gives everything of himself and asks nothing in return. So I want to give him the best possible experience on this trip. Having raised a son with the nickname Disney Dork, he is no stranger to our Central Florida playground of choice. However, I'm trying to plan a week of unique experiences that include the whole family, 4 adults, plus my daughters, 11 and 9. I have him booked at the Waldorf Astoria, for royal treatment, and was hoping this panel of gurus could recommend some additional unique experiences I could plan for this trip. Dinner on Leonard Ohana, perhaps? Thank you so much for all you do, and thanks in advance for the advice.
So it's a birthday?
Yes, 60th birthday for his father.
So it's a 60th birthday, and they're looking for a special way to celebrate it.
Yeah, I would say definitely group activities, Doug. The one that always comes to mind is at Fort Wilderness, which of course is Hoop-de-Doo Musical Review. Great opportunity, especially when you have a couple generations over there. Pay a little bit more for section 1, so you get right close to the stage, and of course that'll inevitably leads to some sort of a somebody in the group getting picked to be made fun of. Right, exactly. Nice. And I just love the show. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's perfect for groups. And I really think that's something that even if you've done it before, Doug, perhaps obviously I don't think you've done it lately, and certainly not with your father. So going there would be a great experience, I would think. Emily, you always try to impress your mother, who is very hard to impress. What does she enjoy?
I'll make sure to tell her not to listen to this episode.
Yeah, please do.
I mean, I don't know, fancy dinner? Is that lame?
I mean, that works, right? You just treat him to a nice dinner.
Maybe like a tour, like one of the keys to the kingdom, something.
I think a tour too. The thing is, the tours are expensive.
True.
How about it? And so I think one of the tours that we like and that is relatively expensive is the behind the scenes tour at the land. Yeah, inexpensive, yeah, relatively inexpensive, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great tour.
Very short, right?
Fun for the whole family.
Fun for the whole family, yeah, and there's food along the way, so woo.
Next email is from Brian McNichols of Scranton, PA. I'm still listening to the character meet and greet episode, and I just wanted to throw in some items that you missed. Regarding the Tangled meet and greet in Storytime Garden, make sure you tell people to ask Flynn Rider about the crown. He usually has one in his bag that he will show you. That's pretty cool.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Emily, you got to try that out.
I'm going to.
In Epcot,
are you a Flynn Rider fan?
I love that movie. I think Tangled is just fantastic.
It was great.
I haven't met them yet because the line is usually very long, but I'm into it.
It's a great movie. Love that movie. In Epcot in the United Kingdom, the main shop runs through a few facades, but all the way in the back is a room that's used for Pooh and Tigger meet greets. I don't know if there are regular times, but I usually check there because there's never a line. Also in Epcot, you missed the Duffy meet between Future World and World Showcase. I think we missed it on purpose, but that's okay.
Duffy.
In Animal Kingdom, there's a meet and greet in Dinoland USA where I usually see Pluto. Of course, that's the only reason to go into Dinoland.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Brian. Next email is from...
That was a good episode. I mean, we had a lot. Oh, and I think Mike Sibetta wrote in to say that Japan has Kimono Mini.
Yes, that's right. And there's also Marie. He also mentioned that Marie is in France, and here's a little tidbit.
Marie from the Aristocats, right?
Right, but here's a little tidbit about Marie. I don't know if this might break the magic, so if you don't want to know, it's not a huge.
Are you gonna say she's stuck up or something?
Marie's a jerk.
She's not the nicest to the cats. Go ahead.
If you ever see Marie, it's actually a cast member in training. For whatever reason, they picked her to be a character that they used to train new cast members. So you'll never see Marie next to any characters. Like she's always far away from all of them.
Really?
Yep. So
in case she attacks.
I don't know. It's just like a comedy of errors that could possibly occur. Or I don't know, but they always keep her far away from everyone else, and it's almost always a cast member in training. So just a little behind the magic for you.
Interesting.
Next email is from Steve Sawa of Carroll Stream, Illinois. I have a question about which ticket to buy. My family has been going to Walt Disney World for over 20 years. We're Vacation Club members and currently go to Disney World every other year for 7 days. On the off years, I purchased tickets for the parks for the upcoming vacation the following year. My question is, which is the better purchase, a 7-day park hopper or a 10-day park hopper with no expiration? We use the park hopper option quite a bit when we go. I figured if we get a 10-day park hopper that don't expire, we can roll over the unused days to the next vacation and not have to pay the price increases. I'm not sure if paying the premium for non-expiring option is worth it.
Ooh, that's a good question. So they use the park hopper option.
Yep. So basically,
did they say whether it's adults or kids?
It just says family, so I'm assuming it's going to be Len. It's going to be
Len.
Len will be there too. It's going to be adults and children, I would guess.
So I think the no expiration option 7-day is $447. Let me see what a 10-day is. That's from Undercover Tours,
right.
By the way.
And and again, the reason why they were considering the 10-day no expiration is because they go every other year. So if they bought it in 2011 and the next trip wasn't going to be until 2013, that by the time you get to 2013, the price of a ticket would have gone up, and thus buying the 3 days left over on the 2011 ticket would be cheaper than buying a whatever the price would be later.
It does make sense actually to get the 10-day because it's only about a $90 difference between a 7-day and a 10-day no expiration.
Cool.
And if you were to buy a 7-day and then a 3-day, the 3-day would be, well, I guess you wouldn't get the no expiration on the 3-day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that. But the 3-day by itself is going to cost almost $300, so you're going to save about $210 getting that 10-day no expiration. That's definitely the way to go. That's actually what I was going to do for Hannah when instead of giving her first, my daughter, instead of giving her first annual pass, I was going to get her 10-day no expiration because I figured she's going to go 5 days and 5 days. As it turns out, it actually worked out better because with the annual pass, you end up going more anyway.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway, so get the 10-day no expiration.
Cool.
And put them in a safe place.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure they don't lose them.
By the way, just real quick, you will save about $35 per adult and about $20 per kid if you buy them from Undercover Tourist.
There you go.
Woo.
And of course, you go to touringplans.com, Len, right? You have a little
right.
cheapest ticket calculator.
That's right. It's the least expensive ticket calculator. If you go under on the homepage, if you look under More on the right-hand side, there's a link to a ticket calculator. It'll tell you all the different options, and it'll tell you the least expensive place to buy. It'll actually tell you the best set of tickets to buy for whatever you want to do, and then it'll tell you the place that has it for the least amount of money.
Cool. Nice little shameless plug there.
Woo!
High five.
It's free. It's free.
That's all right. Next email is from Mike from Minneapolis, also known as Atomic Mickey on the boards. Hoorah! I'm trying to put together a large family trip to Walt Disney World. I'm working with Deb from Mouse Fan Travel already, but of course, want to get whatever suggestions I can get from my favorite show. This will be that's right.
Yeah, right.
This will be a 50th wedding.
Toons just says hi.
This will be a 50th wedding anniversary get-together that my parents are putting together for themselves and 2 families. So basically, 2 seniors, 4 adults, 7 kids. Youngest will be 9 years old. So we can do pretty much anything. We're thinking about doing a combination cruise Disney World vacation, either a 4-day cruise, 3-day vacation, or 3-day cruise, 4-day at Walt Disney World. We're all veterans of Walt Disney World, having been many times. None of us have ever done a cruise, so I'm the most Disney nuts of the group. So This is an open call for suggestions, thoughts, advice on multi-generational gatherings, large groups. I like to hear things of you must do blank and don't do blank. I know Disney does grand gathering things and they're good. Are they good or worth it? We don't have anything booked yet. Don't even know about accommodations. Was wondering about a vacation home, .com. My must-dos for our group based on our previous experience include Dinosaur, Nine Dragons, Journey to Imagination, Stop and Find Out, Disney's Best Kept Secret every chance we get, Skip the Studios entirely, Stitch's Great Escape, Ride Dumbo at noon, and of course the little kids.
Ride Dumbo at
and
noon.
Of course the little kids love their tequila, so that shoots a whole day right there. But seriously, those were all jokes, of course. Seriously, Illuminations.
Except for the part about the studios.
Thanks, Emily. Appreciate it. Illuminations. I'm going to blubber like an idiot to be able to watch it with both my kids and my parents there. Dinner in Germany at Epcot. An evening with Yeehaw Bob at Port Orleans. Safari at Animal Kingdom and Hoop-de-Doo. So there you go. Free for all. Let me know what you guys think. Well, let me start at the beginning. He said either a 4-day cruise or a 3-day cruise. I would definitely go for the 4-day cruise. 3-day cruises, regardless of which cruise line you pick, are underwhelming because you don't really get enough time on this ship. I really think 4 days is so much better. And since you've been to Walt Disney World many times before, I was Mike, definitely take advantage of the cruise. Get the 4-day cruise, do the 3 days at Disney World. I think you're really going to enjoy that a whole lot more because, again, you've been to Disney World before. You're going to be going back, obviously. So I would go for that option personally.
I agree with that.
Thank you. What do you guys think? What are some options that come to mind here? We were kind of talking about this about Doug's question a little earlier, but
multi-generational stuff to do.
Well, if he's going to be sentimental about Illuminations, I think they should go all watch the Castle show together, the new Castle
Magic
show.
Memories and You. Oh, I just did the review of that for the book. Oh, beautiful.
It's awesome.
So you're high on the show line?
Oh, yeah, I think so. It's wonderful. I saw it in Disneyland, and on Disneyland they projected onto It's a Small World.
Right.
And
cool.
It is. So they've got some interesting building elements to work with on that, so they can make the windows and doors open up and stuff, and the clock move and stuff. It's kind of interesting. But the castle is just such a bigger palette that it's way more impressive visually. It's really pretty. The one thing I would say, and I think lots of people would back me up on this, is the photos are kind of like looking at other people's vacation photos. I don't know if I love that. But and the music is a little sappy even for Disney. But other than that, I mean, the visuals are just beautiful.
The sappiness is the best part.
Yeah, there's a lot of Disney is sappy anyway. So
I would also recommend, actually, let me throw something else out there. Since it's multi-generational and want to, obviously remember this trip more than anything, perhaps you'd be interested in one of those photo shoots at one of the resorts that you can do that PhotoPass offers. Where they take your family around and do different photo shoots of the whole family. And it might make some really great shots there, something different. And I've done it before at Saratoga Springs, and they've changed it up a little bit. Now it's like almost every resort's available. And it's definitely something that you should, I would say that, if you're looking to get some great family photos, get a little nice dress up. You don't have to like shoot suit and tie necessarily, but nicer stuff out there, and have an afternoon at one of your favorite resorts to do a photo shoot at. And I think you'll really enjoy it. And it's not that expensive also. And of course, I think the stuff we talked about with Doug's question kind of still applies here.
I think so.
Next email is from Clark. I'm a touringplans.com subscriber and have bought the unofficial guide for several previous trips. It's always been an incredibly valuable purchase. I was wondering if there are any plans to make it available in an ebook format. It seems perfect for the iPad. It's a way to have all the great information handy without lugging around the book. I believe the iPad can display charts and tables as well, and an ebook makes searching for relevant information much easier. I realize Touring Plan's website has a lot of the same information, but having the entire book available on an iPad would be phenomenal.
Yep. So it should come out this summer sometime. In fact, on a recent Facebook post, I displayed a version of my iPhone and iPad, and Laurel's iPad, running displaying the guide. So we have it in EPUB form. It should be ready in the next couple of months.
Cool.
It's exciting.
So it looks really good.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I'm very excited about it. So the funny thing is I put it on my iPhone. And it's a big book, right? It's like 900 pages, 860 something, right?
Right.
On the iPhone, because the display is so small, it's like 14,000 pages, literal. It's like
the joke has become reality.
You turn the phone and you can actually see the pixels repainting on the screen because it's taking so long. You can see the lines go jagged and then they eventually spin. It's like watching an old Atari game, trying to do something really, really, really fast. So funny.
Next email is from Robert Hanson of Chicago, Illinois. First, I really enjoy the show and think you're all terrific. I'm not sure if this is a stupid question or not, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I'm 37 years old, and my wife and I have been together since our senior year of high school. We're from the Chicagoland area and have made numerous trips to the kingdom since we've been together. In 1999, I rented out the Rose Garden on the side of Cinderella's castle to propose to my wife. In 2000, we took our first cruise aboard the Disney Wonder to celebrate our honeymoon. Since the birth of our daughter Ella in 2004, we visited the world 5 times more, each visit getting more and more incredible than the last. Of course, our trips are not cheap by any means, and the thought occurred to me while planning our upcoming trip to Disney World in October. Obviously, Disney must keep a record of how many times we visited the park because we do get certain offers, specials in our mailbox from time to time that are different than the offers that are advertised to the public for a specific time of year. But outside of those specials we receive from time to time, does Disney offer any free upgrades in rooms, tickets, etc. to guests that frequent the world almost every year or so?
Matt, I don't think you or I have ever got a free upgrade from Disney, and if anyone's going to get some sort of frequent buyer discount, it's got to be us.
Yeah, I got an upgraded one time. I was actually talking to.
I've been upgraded before, but it wasn't.
It wasn't a merit upgrade.
Yeah, no.
Right, exactly.
I think they were actually probably full at the time, something like that.
Yeah, and
so we made a mistake upgrade.
Exactly. Hey, we double booked your room. Here, hey, you know what? You're moving up a level.
Yeah, and if you're saying, well, why don't they do that? Well, pretend you're Disney for a second. You've got all these people like us who come down there ridiculously often. Why would they? Why should they? You know,
we're gonna come either way.
Coming back anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I don't get pin codes. They know I'm coming.
Yeah, it's like, so they want to attract, the idea with all those, the pin codes and everything, one would think was to attract people who perhaps are not coming back. And, that's why there isn't. If they ever introduced a loyalty program, it would be because they'd be starting to hurt really bad in terms of, business. That's the only way I could really see that ever happening.
Yeah, and if this last recession didn't do it, I don't know what would.
Right. Next email is from... it's from Dave from Dowington, Pennsylvania. Hell, just Philadelphia. To episode 721 on saving money in response to higher airfare. Great show as always. We're a family of 4, 2 adults. Okay, 1 adult, me and 2 children, 3 and 6. A few things we did to save money without compromising. Packed breakfast and snacks. Yes, we had to spend $30 on a checked bag, but easily saved that 3 times over by having breakfast in the room. Mm-hmm. This also allowed a bit more leisurely awakening in the morning. A good tip: for a hot breakfast, run water through the coffee maker prior to making coffee. For oatmeal or cream of wheat or whatever.
I've done that for tea, yeah.
Have you done that really? That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
So basically you just run the coffee without the coffee and then it comes out hot. Right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pack less and do laundry. We ended up not having to do it, but we basically packed everything, less the food and carry-ons, so we didn't have to pay for them. This was for 8 days, so if you pack judiciously, you can save money as well. Did not rent a car. Okay, I know I don't particularly care for Magical Express. However, we had an excellent experience both to and from the airport. The wait at the airport was literally 5 minutes. We did need to go to 2 other hotels first. However, it was a huge money saver, and the wait wasn't bad at all. Plus, we could relax on the ride. He has a lot of other things. I'm trying to look at things perhaps we haven't mentioned here. Cool. Get a low-tier room, low tier in quotes. Stayed at the Wilderness Lodge and got a standard view. To upgrade to a bunk bedroom was $200 for 7 nights at the desk. It was a lot more if we had done it at the time of reservation. So here's the tip. Get a standard room on as high a floor as possible that faces the Magic Kingdom. You don't see it during the day, but at night, you get a great view of the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom for free.
Really?
I guess so.
That's awesome.
That idea about packing your own food is a really good idea. I used to always do that when I came down. Bring tons of snacks.
Right.
Because I had never rented a car, as I mentioned before, and you can't go off property to buy stuff, so everything is, a bit more expensive in Disney World. So it was always a good idea to bring snacks and kind of breakfast stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a big saver.
I like that too.
And Dave also writes, glow sticks. My wife packed up glow sticks necklaces at Target, Five Below, before we left. For $5, we had enough so that everyone could have a glow-in-the-dark necklace every night. Kids loved it and saved us a ton of money.
And a rave in the room afterwards.
And a raven.
That's great.
That's a quote right there for a shirt. Next email is from Dear Matt. Who's it from? Alex from Grand Blanc, Michigan. Dear Matt, Mike, Len, and other fabulous people that might be there. That's you.
That's me.
That's right. I love listening to the podcast and have been spending my evenings listening to old episodes and laughing along and probably convincing my roommates that I'm crazy. Anyway, I just listened to episode 643 and have to disagree with Michelle and Emily. Wow, it's actually about you.
Whoa.
Wow, this is random. About how Walt Disney World is unfriendly towards those who walk on the veggie side of life. Here you go, Emily. My younger cousin is vegetarian, and often when we go out to eat while on vacation, there are many different places we cannot eat at because there is nothing to eat for her. Most restaurants only have one vegetarian entree. Walt Disney World, while it maybe only have one veggie-friendly entree, often goes above and beyond to fulfill those requests. Whenever we arrived at the restaurant for our meal, we tell our server about our younger cousin being a vegetarian. They often went above and beyond to make sure my cousin was happy and offered the option of the chef creating something special for her. The chef even came to our table at Wolfgang Puck's and offered to create a dish for her. This just goes to make me happy and how awesome Disney is willing to go above and beyond just to make people happy.
That's great.
Response, Emily?
Well, I agree. I mean, I know they do make the effort and they do come to your table and they do talk to you. I guess the thing is, since I visit so often, kind of like the going out of their way, it's usually the same. It's a similar thing everywhere you go. It's usually pasta and vegetables. I mean, it's a little easier. It's a little easier if you're vegetarian. It's still difficult, but being vegan, that knocks out a whole bunch of things too. So no cheese, no eggs, no milk. So I often feel like the safe route is often the same thing. I've eaten a lot of pasta with grilled vegetable dishes at Disney World. Or if you go to a quick service restaurant, sometimes they're very unsure. And I guess quick service is the problem more so than a sit down restaurant. Yeah. There are a lot of places that do go very out of their way, but I think if you just kind of show up anywhere, you're not going to get this amazing meal. They'll accommodate you. You're not going to eat nothing, but I don't know. I guess I've often been underwhelmed, but I do appreciate the effort.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with what the listener said, and that is definitely always ask for the chef. Don't just, also something on the menu that, interests you, obviously. But, speak to the chef. I know that, Emily, when I've eaten with you, the chef comes out. And I remember we were eating at the Turf Club at Saratoga Springs. And you guys had a meal that the chef made. And I thought it looked much better than anything I had. So I was really jealous.
Oddly enough, it was pasta and vegetables. But it was good. Like, I appreciated that. I ate at Tony's Town Square a couple of weeks ago. And I know, you hate it. But... I had a pizza with cheese and tons of vegetables on it, and they're super happy to make it for you. It's also kind of, I guess it's kind of like the chef says, "Well, what do you want?" And they don't have everything back there. Like
you should just mess with them. You should mess with them. I know. A burger, please.
I'd like some grilled tempeh, and I know they don't have that back there, so I kind of exactly. But I agree. I mean, they definitely make the effort, and I wasn't trying to say that they don't, but it's been a lot of the same.
It's not perfect, is what you're saying.
The funny thing is, I actually ordered a pizza last week without cheese just to watch my caloric intake. Mm-hmm. So I had a whole wheat pizza crust with tomato sauce, and then I just put fresh herbs on it. So I put basil, oregano, and I think I put crushed red pepper on it. Everyone at the table looked at me like I had 3 heads because I didn't have cheese on my pizza. But it was absolutely fine. A little extra sauce.
Good though.
It tasted different, right? So you didn't have sort of the fatty taste of cheese on it, but it was delicious.
And maybe you felt better afterwards.
I did, and I mean, really, at the end of the meal, I was still happy, right? Because the fresh herbs had all kinds of flavor in them. And at the end of it, I didn't miss the cheese at all. Yeah, I really didn't.
And he had a nice Whopper afterwards, so it was great.
Yeah, actually had a large fry and a Frosty, but yeah, I get your total thing too.
Next email is from Michelle from Franklin, Massachusetts. Our annual passes will be expiring during the end of August while we're at the World. These will be Disney Vacation Club discounted annual pass renewals. I know that prices increase usually at the beginning of August, so I'm debating between renewing 2 adults, 2 kids over the phone or online before the price increase, or waiting to renew while we are there and cashing in some old passes we have to offset the cost, one-day non-hoppers. So can cashing in passes only be done in person?
Yes, I think so.
Yep. Yeah, so if that's the case, then yeah, you'd have to risk the possibility of the prices going up. I don't think you can do it at a Disney store unless you can, no. And I'm assuming, since she lives in Massachusetts, it's probably not going to be able to get down to Disney World anytime soon to be able to do that.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right, it's time for our last question of the day, and that means I'm going to give Emily, our special guest. Hope you don't mind, Len, the option.
No, it's absolutely fine. Ladies first.
Well,
awesome.
Emily, I'll give you 3 questions to choose from. One gets read today. The other 2 go back into the email queue to be answered later. And if Mike Newell was here, Emily, he'll tell you choose wisely because the other 2 people will hate you forever for not choosing.
But go ahead.
Yeah. Have fun.
No pressure. No pressure at all.
Your options are: don't drop the baby.
Oh God.
Len, help put me at ease, with 1,000 exclamation points afterwards. And pick me before I wee, and wee is spelled like we is in French, like yes.
I'm gonna go with don't drop the baby.
Your question is from Jeff Altery of Hamburg, New Jersey. Hey guys, and sometimes Annette. My wife and I are taking a trip to Disney's Vero Beach Resort and then finishing up at Saratoga Springs this March, or soon, depending on whether we read this. We're taking our now 5-month-old and really don't expect much of the park other than some good photo opportunities. Here's my question. Number 1. Do the characters in full costumes ever hold small children for pictures, or are my wife and I going to have to jump in to get the picture with them? I figure they don't do it in fear of dropping the kids, but I can't find anything that says they don't. I figured it was just common sense, but I wanted to see if you knew anything that I didn't.
I don't think they would.
Yeah,
No.
I'm pretty sure they don't.
Yeah, you got to hold the baby yourself for exactly
They
that.
don't let Mickey wear sunglasses. I don't think they'll let him hold a baby.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
That's an inside joke right there. Very inside joke. Question number 2, totally unrelated, of course. Do you ever envision Disney Vacation Club members getting any other major benefits at Disney World? Other than the discount on annual passes, I don't see any other major discounts. Always hoping that some sort of special Disney Vacation Club Fast Pass, kind of like how Universal Resort guests get an Ultimate Pass at their theme parks. What do you guys think?
Are resort guests going to get special privileges? Yes.
No, Disney Vacation Club Resort guests.
Oh,
like special just for them.
It's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, of course, they would tell you, Disney Vacation Club will tell you that you're obviously, one of the benefits of being a Disney Vacation Club member is that you get to have a discounted price on your vacation because you'll be, over the span of the 50 years that you own, you'll be getting it in the long run.
It's vacation ownership.
It's right. It's right. It's not just leasing.
They've offered stuff, actually, but they historically speaking, unless I'm mistaken, I could be wrong about this, but they've actually taken away benefits and given them, like they used to have, of course, the free valet parking. That's gone. They used to offer free annual passes way back in the day. That's gone.
Bob got those, yeah.
Yeah, Luis got those too. It would really depend, because what's interesting was the economy really didn't hit DVC that badly, right? Sales were still doing well. They're selling what's it called? Bay Lake Tower, very well. They're not hurting for that. And everything I can tell from the Vacation Club is that they're really doing, maybe not gangbusters, but they're doing very well for themselves. So certainly they're not in a situation where we're like, we got to figure out some way to stimulate sales. And I think that would be somewhere they would, if they got to a point where, again, start to hit their bottom line, then DVC would pull something like that. Like, hey, buy some points and, we'll, you'll get this. And, but right now it seems to be the real inclination they've been going with is Bay Lake Tower is putting, now you can buy DVC at a place really close to the resorts, which has been something that before DVC really wasn't the case. I mean, you just had, Saratoga Springs, Old Key West. These are resorts that were out in the middle of nowhere, and, relatively speaking, of course. Animal Kingdom Lodge was just, off in the corner of Disney World. So that's kind of the way that I'm seeing Disney operating. And of course, Len, this might be a good opportunity real quick to talk about rumors. Len, did you read on DVCnews.com that where the next DVC resort is going?
Grand Floridian.
Yes.
Totally makes sense.
Get out of here.
Totally makes sense. They could take an entire building. They could take one of the what's the K? The second building that they use for concierge or club level. They could totally take that.
Yeah, well, they're going to do the Bay Lake Tower model. Demolish.
Oh, are they going to build another one across the street?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be like a huge tower, but they're the same idea. Demolish a building and build a a new DVC unit over there.
That'll be awesome.
That's, of course, DVCnews.com is reporting it's unofficial, but hasn't been announced, but that's the word on the street, so to speak. What do you think, Len? You in favor of the idea? Emily likes it. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, it's number one, I think we've talked about this on the show before. Disney's going to keep building DVCs because DVC revenue gets booked to theme park revenue in their annual report. So it gets lumped in with park operations. So they're going to keep building DVCs for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, it's a cash cow for them.
Number two, the only thing I would say about the DVC is they're going to need a way to get transport to a walking path to the Magic Kingdom. I wouldn't be surprised if they did both.
And one thing I've heard, though, is that the Grand Floridian DVC is going to be different than other DVCs. It's going to be like a premium. It's going to compete with the what's that hotel one that's going in the Ritz-Carlton? They want it to be like it's going to be a different level of DVC. It's like another echelon to offer, because it's going to be at the Grand Floridian. They want to, and of course, it's all rumor. Don't hold me to it. In 10 years, don't send me emails about this. But from what I've heard, is that it's going to be they're trying to get this to be up like a premium DVC, if you will.
Great,
fancy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Don't forget, this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. And hey, if you're looking to stay anywhere at Disney World property, even if it's a DVC resort, you can book it with MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. That's right. They can help you do all that. Not a DVC points. Obviously, you want to pay cash for a DVC resort. But if you want to stay at any of those resorts, they can help you do that. Visit them online at mousefantravel.com. Don't forget, our next live show is this Sunday. That's right. March 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern, featuring AJ from the Disney Food Blog. She'll be joining us on our live show, and we'll be taking your questions. So Sunday, March 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Be there or be square, as they say in the 50s. And of course, I want to thank our special guest, Emily Westhoff from Baby Cakes. Thank you, Emily.
Thanks for having me. You're welcome.
thanks for.
And that's it for us today. If you want to find older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit us online at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and Emily Westhoff, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.